Oh, okay. I think I'm going live. Uh, let's see here. Hi, guys. Let's see if anybody comes in the room. So I'm trying to go live, and I'm new at this. I got lots of videos out there, but the live thing. So I just got the 1,000 subscribers. Now I can go live. Let's see if anybody comes on this channel. So today I'm gonna try to. Hopefully, you guys come on and I can answer questions about federal prison, if you're facing time, if you got out of prison, if you're just curious what goes on. It's all about prison camps today and the lows. So I'm one of those non-violent criminals that went to prison for 52 months, white collar crime. I did wire fraud, and so I did tax refunds for basically I got tweakers and homeless people big fat refund checks, and I took 20% and I gave them 80%. And I owe the government $1.7 million. They want all the refunds back now. So everybody gets to keep their money, and I got to pay it all back. And I went to prison for it. So, it is what it is. I'm told I can never file anybody else's taxes as long as I live. But so I got out of prison about a year and a half ago now, still on federal probation for another year and a half. And so I do these videos to help guys out that are facing prison because when I was facing prison time, I was all over YouTube looking at videos, and all I could find was like how to make a tattoo gun and how to make a shank. And I knew I was going to a camp or a low nonviolent prison, and there wasn't a lot of answers out there. And I was on free trial for 3 or 4 years, and it's crazy not knowing how much time you're going to get. Nobody believes that you're going to go to prison because you've been out on bail for 3 years. When it comes to the feds, when they got you, they got you. You're going to do time. So let me see. I'm not sure if this thing's even working. Am I just talking to myself? Let me just see if this does anything. Oh, there we go. I do see somebody. Nick Williams. Hey, Nick. How you doing, man? Uh, yeah, bear with me, guys. I don't know. I'm hoping. I get a lot of phone calls from people watching my videos, a lot of comments, a lot of emails, and they got questions. There we go. Nick has a question. All right, I love it. Go for it, Nick. All right. Well, I'm waiting for his question to come up. And I got my little tablet here. I got a bunch of questions that people know on my comments and stuff like that. So hopefully they can help somebody out that's facing prison or scared to go. And for one, if you're going to a camper, you don't have to be scared. You're not going to get beat up. There's no gangs in the camps. There's no cars. You do kind of sit at separate tables at chow time, but you can mix. No, there's nobody's going to beat you up. Here we go. Can you explain how interstate commerce work? No, I don't know what interstate commerce work. I don't know if that has anything to do with prison. I don't. No, I can't, Nick. I don't really know what that means. Interstate commerce work. I wish I could. Is that related to? Not that everything has to be a prison question, but yeah, I don't know if that is interstate commerce. I've heard of that. I don't know what it is. Sorry, I wish I could help you out, man. You got another question? Boy, first question and I blow it. That's not good. That's not good. Well, let me see here. I want to read some of these comments here. So I don't know if I wrote this guy back, but it says, "Hey, Sean, I did time at Florence Camp 2016 to 2017. You probably remember me. I ran ping pong, the library, and had the cheesecake hustle. Wallace. Anyway, I enjoy your videos. The bingo scene had me crying. I think James used to do that at ADX. Anyway, I just wanted to say the real reason they gave us the finger is because they know most campers are snitches." Oh, so yeah, I did a video about my jobs at the Supermax. So when you do time at a federal prison camp, they have you work at the other prisons. Anything from cleaning the bathrooms in the lobby at the penitentiary. You never see the inmates in the penitentiary I worked at the ADX Supermax, and I didn't see El Chapo. I might have seen his feet walking by because there's some parts, there's these windows, and It's always 4 guards that bring them if they got to go see the doctor or something. But usually they're in their cell most of the time. We're not allowed to look at them or talk to them. But when when people in the penitentiary have a fight, they shank each other over who knows what. I mean, these guys fight over everything in there. But some gang member comes in and he's on the yard, and he's in the wrong prison, and anyways, they decide to shank him and stab him and all that, and everybody goes down on the ground, and then they do lockdown, and all those prisoners in the penitentiary can't come out of their cell sometimes for months. And so who's going to bring them their food? Who's going to feed them? That's why they get the campers to come over, and we got to go work in their food service, in their kitchen. And it starts off, we make bologna sandwiches, thousands and thousands and thousands of bologna sandwiches. For the first month, that's all they're really going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. After a while, they start giving them some dinner food and maybe some cereal for breakfast. But at first, they're only going to get bologna sandwiches. Anyway, so when we're walking into their kitchen and we're on their yard, we're the campers and we're walking, you can see them through the windows, and they flip us off all the time. And I used to wonder, buddy, I'm going in there to make your lunch. How do you know I'm not going to be spitting in your food? And you're flipping me off. I'm the one. We're the ones feeding you. And we're supposed to get $1 a day for that. I never really seen it. I got $5 once after 2 months of working a lockdown in the penitentiary. I got $5. Oh boy. And so they don't like campers. It's funny because when they work their way down to the camp and they finally got an out date, because we got guys that done 30 years at a camp. Now they got 2 years left to go, and they finally lowered their points, and they get into the camp. And they hate the fact that there's no cars, there's no politics, there's no paperwork. They just hate that. Here we go. I see Richard. Later, sorry, man, was getting my son changed. Okay. All right. Changing the diapers, I'm thinking. Hey, Richard, good to see you. Richard, you going to go to that AA meeting with me tonight? I left you a little message on there. Let me know. It's at 7 o'clock tonight, Pacific Standard Time. So it's all guys have been in prison. Tonight, I just got a text. The guy's got 35 years, clean and sober. He's been in prison. I think he's been at San Quentin. Anyways, these are guys who've turned their life around, and now they're off the alcohol, they're off the drugs, and it's a little kind of closed AA meeting. But I sent you the info. Hopefully, I'll see you there. Nick says, "What's the crazy stories you heard about the inmates in the Supermax?" I got a few of them. And Richard says, yes. Okay, so I guess you're going to be there at the meeting. Great. Here's a crazy story. So when the inmates at the Supermax, when they so one thing they like to do to the guards is they will take, when they're angry, right? They will take their shit and their piss and they'll fill it up in a shampoo bottle, right? Because they let them have some things in there. And they will stuff this with shit and piss and everything. And they'll save up 2 or 3 bottles. And when the guards come to feed them and they put that thing through their tray through the slot, they'll squish the shampoo and the shit and everything goes all over the guard. All over the guard. And guess who cleans up the cells? They get the campers to come in there. Oh, and we got to wear hazmat suits and everything else. I had to do it one time, and it was a shitty day. I'm telling you. I went in there with a few of us, and we got to go hose it all. So they take the inmate out of the cell and they put him somewhere else. In a lockdown within the Supermax, if you can imagine that. And we got to go spray the whole cell out, and the guards got to go through this. Oh man, this whole decompensation thing, because the guards got the shit and the piss all over them, and they're angry, man. Oh, and the guards, and man, the guards will shower 10 times, still can't get it off. It's crazy. So one time we had to go clean it, and they said it was the Unabomber's cell, but I don't know for sure. But apparently he had cut all his hair off, and all his hair was on the ground. And a friend I was in there with, he grabbed all his hair and he said, "I'm taking this. I'm putting this on eBay when I get out of here." So apparently he's got the Unabomber's hair. It's going to go on eBay. But, that's kind of stuff that happens in that Supermax. Let me see what else here. Anything about Eric Rudolph? I don't know anything about Eric Rudolph, Richard. Sorry. Darren says, "What's up, bro? I called you a couple days ago. PPP crime. Do you think I will get a lower camp? What's the difference? Oh, yeah. I think you're gonna get at least a low. There's a thing called a custody level. So I got some links in the descriptions to all my videos. On actually, I've got the paper right here. It's called a custody classification form, and there's a lot of questions I got to ask you, like how old you are, what your back. You got to know your criminal history category. You can get that from your lawyer. It's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. All right. Now, higher it is, the more points you get. You need 11 points or less to get in a camp, 16 points or less to get into a low. You got to do 10 years sentence or less to get in a camp, 20 years or less to get in a low. And I think we talked a little bit about it. If you call me later, something I can ask you all these questions. We can go over it and find out your custody level points. But the criminal history part, you kind of got to get that from your public defender or your lawyer. And if I remember right, you're at least going to low. Let's see what else I got on here. Anything about Jeff Ford? Man, I don't know Jeff Ford. Darren says, I'm 44, bro. No history. Okay, 44, you get that's going to be 2 points for your age right there. Then we need to know if you have a GED or a high school diploma. If you don't, they add 2 points. If you're going to self-surrender, you get minus 3 points. And the fact that you're talking to me now means you're out on bond or something. So usually they'll let you self-surrender. That's a minus 3 points. You always want to self-surrender at sentencing day. Make sure. Don't let them take you that day. They'll shackle you up. You're going to go on Con Air. You're going to go to Oklahoma City for months, and you're going to be locked down in different detentions. And self-surrender. Always self-surrender. Make sure your lawyer asks for that. But we can talk later. Let's see. Richard, his neighbor is the Unabomber. He is the second cousin. Oh, okay. So his neighbor is the Unabomber at the ADX. So they probably talk a lot. We also found some pictures of the Unabomber. Apparently, he did self-portraits with the charcoal. I guess they let him have some kind of artwork in there. So and that guy that picked up the hair, he's got the artwork that he did. Unabomber had 2 self-portraits that he drew of himself. I tried to get one, man. I really wanted one. I was going to put it on eBay too. Somebody buys that stuff. Let's see. Darren. Well, Darren, let me see. On my chart here. Also need to know criminal history. You probably don't have any escape charges. The severity of your crime. We got to know that. So, let's say you had, 50 pounds of meth or pot or whatever it is. That's going to be the high severity. That's 7 points. It's 7 points, 5 points, 3 points, or 1 point. And it depends on the amount of money your restitution is, or the amount of drugs that it is, or just the victims. Yes, victims, no victims. So your criminal history and the severity of your crime are those are the big numbers. They go up to 7 points each. So even if you got the high on both of those, that's 14 points, and you're going to self-surrender. It brings you down to 11. That gets you in a camp if you're over 45 years old. So anyways, you're looking at a lower camp from what I gather. Let's see here. Garen, no escapes, 97K loss. Wherever I don't have the chart though with me for the amount of, I can get it on the computer. We'll have to go over later. There's a chart that tells you, if it's 1 to 2 pounds, if it's over 5 pounds, if it's over 10 pounds, 97K. Oh, 97. That's not weight. That's money. That's money. So it's under 250,000, which is good. I think that's 3 points. If it's over. So first they got, and it's under 100,000. So the first batch is anything below 100,000. Then it goes up to 250,000. Then it goes up to 1.5 million, and then it goes up to 10 million. And you're way down there. So yeah, man, you're looking. you're camp bound. It kind of seemed wire fraud. That's what I did. Yeah, I think you're going to a camp, Darren. I really think you're going to a camp. We'll have to talk more. We could go over this. But yeah, you're looking like a camp. Richard says, you got to check out a guy named Sean Lannon. He killed 4 people in New Mexico and 1 person on March 5th down the street from me. Ooh, ATF caught him in St. Louis yesterday. Oh, yesterday they caught him, huh? Got the same name as me. That's not a good thing. Nick says you need to go live more often. I'm working on it, Nick. I'm learning all this stuff. And right now I'm just using the basic YouTube studio webcam thing. And I've got this Zoom Pro and it lets me do some videos. I'm still learning how to edit. I want to learn how to like hold my hand up and magically, a honey bun appears and all these tricks they do on these videos. I'm trying to learn, guys, but I'm old. I was good at computers before I went to prison. I get out, technology's just beyond me. But I'm learning. So yeah, let's see. The live chat's working. I guess I got super chat. If you guys know what that is. So the super chat is apparently, I don't know, you pay $1 and you get your highlighted thing goes up there and makes, I don't know, but there's a super chat. If you guys want to support the channel, try it out. I don't know. So apparently I made 37 cents. I got monetized 2 days ago. I made 37 cents from YouTube from the commercials. Hey man, I was making 12 cents an hour washing dishes in prison, so I'm coming up, man. I'm coming up. Let me see what else. All right, well, let me read another comment on here while I'm waiting for questions there. I appreciate you guys being on here, man. It means a lot to me. One says, good comment. Don't do crime on the phone. No, don't do crime on the phone. Angela says, how good was the food? Well, it was as good as you get at a high school. Every camp's different. Every low's different. Every penitentiary's different. The inmates do the cooking. It also depends on the guards. Some guards are not going to order spices and herbs and, for that prison. Our guards were really good. I mean, they whatever we wanted, we did an order every week and every month. If we wanted basil and Italian herbs, and we want chili peppers and hot sauce and all and spices to cook with, they would give it to us. So our camp was pretty good. And somebody's calling me, and I don't know if it's one of you guys, but I'm not going to put you on blast live. Richard said you should try to tell stories online. You can make money, or turn it into a book. Okay, I'll try. I'll try that, Richard. Darren says, any chance I get probation? Lots left. Yeah, there's a chance, Darren. There's always a chance. I'm sorry, I hate to laugh, but yeah, there's a chance. so small of a chance, though. I mean, everybody wants probation. From what you told me, I'm sorry, man. You might get a year and a day, and you'd be out in about 7 or 8 months or something like that. I mean, if you got medical stuff going on, you can get the home confinement. You got to have severe medical problems because they got whole prisons that are medical facilities. They call them MCCs, medical correction institutions, and it's a big hospital that's also a prison. And they don't care if you're 85 years old, man. They want to punish you. They feel like they need to punish you, and they like to give and they're slow. They're slow at pretrial. They're slow at sending you, and they're not much for leniency. I mean, if you're a movie star and you got all the press and the media and stuff, maybe. Let's see what this next question is. Nick says, talk about a time someone told you a story how they got in the Fed that people would believe what you could get charged with. Talk about a time someone told you a story how they got in the Fed that people would believe what you could get charged with. So something like, let's see if I can think of something offhand. Okay, I know a guy that got 10 years. He was at the camp for pouring chemicals down the sewer. Have you ever seen your sidewalks outside your house and it says don't pour chemicals down here because the it goes to the bay and it ruins the environment and stuff. So this guy he was pouring chemicals down his sidewalk and he got a violation and he didn't care and he didn't pay the fine and he kept doing it. And it wasn't drug chemicals or nothing. I forget what it was. He had I think it was just his stuff from his RV, and instead of draining the water out of it, was the nasty stuff from his RV, shit and all that stuff, and he was just draining that down his drain because he lived in a residential area, and he got 2 or 3 violations and stuff, and he just refused it, and he got 10 years. I don't know. That's probably not that interesting. I'll think of something better. Talk about someone else. Yeah, that's probably not a good enough story. I don't know, man. Sometimes I got it'll hit me after I do this video. Oh, I had a great story. I'll try to remember next time. Let's see, this one says Andrew Green asked me, I've got a juicy question. Would a female ex-cop be safe in PC? Probably not. Probably not. You know what? We had 8 cops at the camp that were inmates. I think it was 8 because I talked to a couple of them, and there was this one guy who went undercover on the narcotics. He went in narcotics undercover and lived the life of a drug dealer and got so deep into it, that he started dealing with drugs on the side. He developed a drug an alcohol problem, and he got sentenced to 8 years. And he was in Bakersfield. He was a Bakersfield police guy. And if you want to look him up, so have you guys ever seen that movie McFarland with McFarland with who's the actor? He's also now in Yellowstone. He did it. If you build it, they will come. That actor guy, what's his name? It's not coming. But there's a movie called McFarland, and it's about these Mexican kids that were running track, and he took over as a teacher, and they won medals in the Olympics and stuff. And one of the kids that was in the movie McFarland in real life was this cop that I did time in prison with. His name is Demasio Diaz, and he ended up being a good guy. But when he first got there, the Mexicans weren't going to have him. They had a big meeting, and they don't usually do this in the camp, but all the Pikes got together, and they were going to decide whether to kill him or tell him to check in and get out of the camp. And you don't see that in a camp, rarely. And they had a big meeting out in the softball field. I remember it was like 50 of them. They all got together, and you never see this. And they had to decide whether to let this cop to stay on as an inmate or whatever they were going to do, how to handle it. And they decided to let him stay. And over time, they started to talk to him and let him be a regular inmate. He got and he ended up going RDAP with me. And I think he learned his lesson being a dirty cop. But yeah, there's cops in prison camps. So the question about a female, if she went to a camp, she might be all right, but anywhere else, a female ex-cop's probably not going to be safe. And those women, they hold grudges on, and even if they didn't know her as on the outside, yeah, those women hold grudges. Let me see what more questions I got here. Richard says, it's crazy. My friend stole money from banks online. He got 30 years, but a guy who killed someone gets 12 years. Yeah, and a guy who rapes little 5-year-old kids and pulls them in the van, and rapes them and you know what I mean, and ruins them for life, he'll get 5 years. Oh God, it's crazy. Darren says lots of telemarketers and white collar crimes are mainly drug charges in camps. Chomos. Darren, so they don't allow chomos in the camp, but the lows are full of chomos. So the lows have a fence. The difference between a camp and a low is pretty much chomos and a fence. You know what I mean? And I heard it's 60-70% chomos in a low. And thank God they don't let them in camps. Darren says, ask for paperwork in the lows or camps, 5K, most, etc. No, they don't ask for paperwork in the camps or the lows. A lot that goes on in the mediums and the penitentiaries. And you're not allowed to have any paperwork. You get caught with it, they can throw you in the shoe. But everybody has an out date. Everybody wants to go home. And even the guys that work their way down from the penitentiary to the medium and they get to a low, they go crazy over the fact that nobody's asking for paperwork, but they don't want to push it either because they don't want to get charges to get put back into the medium or the penitentiary. You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you, at a camp, man, there's half the guys there got the 5K thing. It's crazy, man. It is what you got doctors and lawyers and stockbrokers and those guys squill on their whole office. They're all telling on each other. But when they get to prison, the thing is, when you get to the prison camp, don't be snitching on people with cell phones. And I was smoking cigarettes, and there was guys who tried to tell on us, and that's when you can get beat up at a camp. We don't shank you or nothing, but you get beat up on. But yeah, there's no paperwork in a camp or a low. Maybe some of the lows might ask for paperwork. Let me see what the next question is. Darren, no, Nick says, do a camp save a shoe? And if you start trouble in a camp, could you get sent to a lower medium? Yeah, you could definitely get sent to a lower medium. So you need 11 custody points or less to be in a camp. So if you got 10 points and you're in that camp and you get a shot's a write-up. And you got 4 kinds of shots, 100, 200, 300, 400 series. I forget which one's the worst. But yeah, I mean, you get a shot that's a 200 series, you're going to a low. So yeah, and what was the question again? And if you start troubling, yeah, could you get sent? Yeah, you can start trouble. The answer is yes, you can. So a lot of people are on their best behavior at a camp. I know the guys from the penitentiary, they hate being in that camp. They hate it because they don't have any gangs no more. They're not in their car. Some of the guys from the penitentiaries that work their way down, there might be 8 or 10 of them at a camp, and they all click up together, and those are the guys who usually run the TV room, and they'll ignore everybody else. I mean, you could tell the inmates that came from the penitentiaries because they won't talk to you. They just don't want nothing to do with a camper. In their mind, you're an inmate and they're a convict. And so you know what it is. There's inmates and convicts, and camps. So there's that difference. Darren says, "Fuck, I don't want to go to prison. Damn it, man." Yeah. If you're going to a camp or a low, though, it's you'll get through it, man. You don't want to go to a medium or penitentiary. That's for sure, man. Darren says people get in fights over debt. Yeah, all the time. So they got these poker tables, right? And they play hands for $300, $400, $500 a hand, just for that one game. They play that Texas Hold'em, and the building I lived at, there was 2 big buildings at my camp, and they always had at least 2 tables going. And you got the guys that run the poker tables, just like the casino, and you got the lookouts. You got 2 or 3 lookouts, and at nighttime there's only one guard for the whole camp, 500 people. And he's in a bubble way up, a couple 100 feet away in a far away building. They got 2 or 3 lookouts. These guys are sitting around the poker table, and they got money on their accounts on the outside. I'm not sure how they pay it, but I mean they're playing. I know it's $100 buy-in for some tables. I'd sit there and watch sometimes. Sometimes they had $500 buy-ins. I see a guy put $100 down, and 20 minutes later he's gone. He's off the table. He's mad. He lost his money. And then other guys have good credit, and what happens is the credit's so good that they get behind. Now they're in the hole, $800, $1,200, and the wife's not wiring the money anymore to the guys that run the poker table. Next thing you know, they take them in the bathroom in the camps, and 4 or 5 of the guys. So where I was at, the Pisces were running one of the poker tables, and these white guys were running another poker table. But this one guy owed about $2,000. They took him in the bathroom, and they all put socks around their arms, and they just beat the bloody hell out of him, right? And he didn't say nothing. Nobody said nothing. Nobody knew about it. The guards didn't know about it. He came up with that money. He came up with that money. Whoever he had call on the outside, and that's what happens. So I've never seen nobody get shanked. Nobody got killed, but you will get beat to a bloody pulp if you owe money like that. Let's see. Let me see. Darren says people get in fights every day. I just answered that. Poker, yep. Nick says, do guards really be in the gun towers? Yes, they are. At the ADX and the penitentiary and the mediums, there are. I don't know about the mediums that they have guns, but I know the penitentiary does and the ADX. So here's a story. So my first day working at the ADX Supermax, so they drive us over from the camp to the Supermax, and we go through the back gate. There's 2 fences you got to go through, and there's a guard room in between the 2 fences, and there's 2 guard towers here. So we're all standing outside the fence, and the COs that run the food service, they come out and they call our name and they go cowgill, and I got to go 618-4219, and I go stand over here, and they give me a quick pat down. Then we go. Then the big fence, the big gate opens up. Then we go into this guard room, and we have to go through a metal detector, and then from there we stand off to the side. And when everybody's done with that, another big fence thing slides open, and then we walk into the food service area. Now, on the way out, when I got off work that day, you got to go everything in reverse. So there's this big yellow line before you get to the fence. And I didn't know. And I'm just walking. I'm walking towards the fence thinking, we got to line up and go through the motions again. And all of a sudden, I crossed the yellow line, and the guard tower, his window opened up, and the gun was pointed at me. And everybody said, cowgill, don't move, don't move. And I go, what do you mean don't move? And I kept moving. They go, dude, stop. I looked up, and there's a gun pointing at me. And then they all laughed. Even the guards, they all had a big laugh on my account. And the guy was still holding the gun, and I learned my lesson. Yeah, yes, they have guns on you. Let me see. Darren says, I need to stock up on soups for trade and gamble. Yeah, so it's not really soups. When you go to county jail, soups are like $1.50 each or something. They use tunas. Meats, carnitas, chicken, mackerel, oysters, clams, all this stuff that comes in a bag. Let me see if I used to have, talking about soup and a honey bun. But everything comes in a bag over there. Bag meats. I don't have my tuna bag. I don't know where I put my bag of tuna. But it's meats are anywhere from $2 to $6 for a bag of meat, depending if it's the carnitas is the big thing. That's like $5 a bag. You buy it on commissary, and they trade meats. And stamps are worthless in the camp, guys. You'll hear these penitentiary guys, they trade stamps. Stamps are worthless in the camp. Nobody wants them. If you buy a book for $10, it's worth $7. As soon as you walk away from the commissary window, the value goes down to $7, and then nobody still wants to take them. Stamps are worthless in the camp. It's all about trading meats. Let's see. Darren says, what is the currency on the, I guess I just told you that, prison. Nick's got smiley faces, thanks. Damn. Richard says, I think people like Eric Rudolph and Unabomber don't leave their cell to eat. They don't leave their cell to eat. Everything's brought through little slots. They get 2 trays. They get a cold tray and a hot tray. Because one of my jobs was working on the food service line. I eventually worked up to cook, but I started off as a dishwasher. I got some pictures of the dish pit there, and I'm gonna do a video on when your first job in food service is scraping trays, and some of those trays that come out of the ADX from these Unabomber guys, these terrorists and stuff, nasty ass trays, and we got to wear a big, like plastic sheet and a shield and all this when we have to pull the trays out of these hot carts, and then you bang the trays on the garbage. But when you open the lid of the tray, you never know what's inside that tray. Sometimes there's a piece of shit and everything else in there. It's disgusting, man. Uh, yeah, it really is. And those guys, they never leave their cell except for for medical reasons, or to go to a court date. And they don't really have court dates because unless they're appealing something, but they do let them out for what they call rec. But what happens is half the cells there have a little sliding door that opens up, and they go out to a little cage, and they're inside of a little 6x6 cage, and they can feel the air, but they can't. They can see the sun maybe, but they're not going to see over the walls. They can't tell that the Rocky Mountains are right behind them. They can't see any of that. Now they have some of the people in the ADX get out. They got a 20-year sentence. They have a step down unit, and there was about 440 inmates. I remember because every night we had to do a count on how many trays to make, and they told me about 100 of these guys are going to get out. And when they get to their last 5 years of their sentence, they get to a special part of the ADX where they actually come out of their cell and they have a little day room and they can play cards and and dominoes and all that. And it kind of looks more like a penitentiary. And it's called a step down unit, and that's preparing them to go on the outside. So some of them do get out. Let's see. Okay. Well, I'm gonna read another question here from my comments, and I don't know if you guys let me know if I'm doing all right with this video. I don't know, man. I'm gonna try to go live. Maybe if this works, I'll go live once a week. Thursdays are good for me. And hopefully I can help out people with questions. Like what was I gonna say? Well, I lost my lost my train of thought there. So here's somebody. Clayton says, "What's the chances of getting in there to interview some of the prisoners at the Supermax? None, 0 to none. They don't let reporters can't even get in there. I don't even know if they'd let the president in there. I mean, slim to none. Yeah, you're not going to get to interview. You could, if you were a doctor, you could apply to work at the ADX and get a job in, being a doctor or a nurse in there, and then talk to them that way. I mean, you apply as a guard and get in there, but they're not going to let a regular civilian in there. Oh, I have more things here. Let's see here. The guards really be, I think, good job, brother. Okay, thanks, Darren. Richard says, I like it. It's cool hearing other people's questions. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Let's see here. All right. Oh, Michael Thompson says, hi, Sean. It's Mike. We met at Florence Camp and also at the San Francisco Taylor House. Nice to see you are doing good. I'm still at the SLE in Hayward. You suggested. Like your video. Yeah, Thompson. Yeah, I replied it back and stuff. So that's the guy I did time with. He got kicked out of RDAP. He had a little anger problem with a couple of the staff members, and they kicked him out of RDAP. And he was almost done with it too, and he lost his year off. You get a year off your sentence, and he had to do more time. I think he recycled him when he went through again, but he could have got out earlier. But anyways, he seems to be doing good now. And we went to we got to the same halfway house together in San Francisco, and he didn't have a place to go. When you get out of halfway house, once your time's up there, they kick you out of the halfway house. And probation won't allow you to stay at a homeless shelter. They just they'll either extend your time at the halfway house, you know what I mean, or they just won't let you live in a homeless shelter. You need to find a place. I've even heard of them violating you and sending you back to the camp because you had nowhere, you were a vagrant. So anyways, I told him about the sober living house. That's where I'm at one of them too. So I'm at a house. 6 people live here. And right now I don't have a roommate, but I'll be getting one, and it's $950 a month. I share the room. There's 6 guys in the house. It's a 3-bedroom house, and there's a house next door that's also sober living. So we're supposed to stay clean and sober, go to AA meetings or NA meetings, a couple a week, and have a sponsor and work the steps and that kind of stuff. And it's a stepping stone till we get our own place and a better job and and things like that. So I told him about one in Hayward that was only $500 a month, but in Hayward it's going to be 6 people to a room, and so that's what he started at. And he sent me another one. He moved up to the room with 4 people in it, but it's $500 a month. That's on the other side of the San Francisco Bay, a little better neighborhood. The prices are cheaper, but it's next to Oakland. So anyways, it's a place where you can go when you get out of prison and you're done with your halfway house time, because I didn't have nowhere to go to like a lot of guys. Let's see some more questions here. MCSE 9073. Have a son with Asperger's, which is autism. He is a small guy. I'm afraid he won't make it. He will make it. He will if he's if he's going to a camp or a low, he will make it. I don't know the logistics of what you're talking about, but if he's going to a camp, he'll definitely make it. He'll even though people will help him out. Yeah, really, he would. They're not going to pick on him. Those guys in the camp usually have a heart. He'd be okay. I really think so. As long as he's going to a camp or a low. Darren's again. How are the guards at camp versus ADX? So the guards are really good to the campers, even the ADX guards. Hell, they were nicer to us than some of the inmates that went back home with. I mean, we worked right on the food line with them, with all the guards at the ADX. You get to know their name of their wives come in sometimes and visit them. I've met their kids. They bring their kids for little tours. You know what I mean? They talk to you on the like just a regular coworker. They treat us really, really good. And I tripped when I first got there. I asked one of the guards, the food service guys. I said, why are you guys treating us so nice? What's really going on here? And they said we work here every day. We want a healthy environment. We know that you guys are getting out. We know you guys are usually nonviolent and you're people, and we got to work with you. So that's the way we do it. If you're not friendly back to them, they'll fire you. They'll tell you to go back to camp, find another job. They want you to be friendly with them, not overly friendly, although that happens. I did a video about Miss Kolowaski, who had sex with the inmate at the Supermax, and he put a comment on here too. The guy who got caught having sex with her. I mean, that's another video you guys have to. It's on my website, but yeah. So there is some female guards have sex with the men there. It's happened 3 times while I was there. I did a video with. I even hold up the newspaper articles about it. Let's see here. Darren says, "Tell us about the Hamburglar again." All right, I will. Richard says, "In TN, it was $1,200 a month for sober." $1,200 a month in Tennessee? Man, the minimum wage there's only like $7 an hour. How do they afford that? I know it's $1,500 in San Francisco, and you don't get your own room. Nick says, "Did you have to forfeit that $1 million, or do you pay on it until it's paid?" I pay $100 a month for the rest of my life. I had like 8 people on my caseload. I was the leader, so they sentenced me last. And a couple of those guys snitched on me or whatever, and they got a couple years taken off their sentence or whatever. But everybody has to pay that $1.7 million back. If somebody wins the lottery, then I guess I'm off the hook. So they told me $100 a month for the rest of my life. Don't miss a payment. I can be violated for that. Once I get off probation, it becomes a civil matter. And I was told if I get any lump sums of like $5,000, $20,000, I don't know what they meant by lump sum. I got to pay 25% to them. So, and if I get a really good job, like over $100,000 a year, then they're going to want 10% of my salary instead of the $100 a month. So, but the interest alone is they charge 30% penalties for late charges, 30% penalties of interest, and it just adds up. I mean, it's probably over $2 million right now, just because it's not getting paid. It'll it's what it is. See. Also, you want to know about the Hamburglar guy? Okay, so he was a new guy that came to the camp, and they sent him over to ADX to be to work with us, and he had to start off in the dish room, scraping the trays, and he didn't seem to mind that. But a lot of these guys, I told you, they frisk us when we leave. So a lot of guys will take chicken and cheese and whatever kind of, they go for the meats, you know what I mean? Steaks, and they shove it down their boots. And the guards frisk us on the way out. And most of the guards, they know we got stuff in our boots, and they just let it go because we work hard. And and I never stole the chickens or the steaks myself, but they used to let me take out sheet cakes, and they used to let me take those. I just hold it up, and because I ended up working in the bakery, and we'd have these extra cakes, and they used to let me bring those back. So I was happy with that. But this so people still out of the ADX, the most secure prison in the world, things are getting stolen out of there every day. And but he was greedy. He wasn't happy with just shoving a steak down his boots where the guards will let you go. He takes a whole case of hamburger patties and he puts them all over his body, in his pants and everything. And he's got it. We got that shrink wrap stuff, that big plastic wrap. So he wraps his whole chest with all these hamburger patties. Then he puts his shirt over it, and he thinks he's going to get away with it. And the guards, so when we all get patted down, I mean, he had a hamburger thing sticking right up here. You could see it. And they touched him. They go, no. They brought him in to the a little search room, and we were all laughing. Even the other guards were laughing. Everyone, it was so funny. Everybody was laughing, and all they did was fire the guy. They could have sent him to the chute or the hole. They could have gave him a shot. They could have gave him an extra charge. He could have got sent out of the camp, and all they did was fire him. Those guards they're cool like that. They had a big laugh over it, but they said we're never letting you back in the Supermax for a job ever again, right? And so he got nicknamed the Hamburglar, and so that stuck. And the funny thing is, we get driven to the ADX Supermax by inmates, right? They give inmates keys to a van. There's no other guards around. They go grab the keys in the morning, and they hold the keys all day long, and they drive around the different prisons and pick up the campers and bring them back. And then they also take guys to the Greyhound bus station over in Denver and Colorado Springs, and sometimes they're on 2-hour trips, and they're dropping off inmates that just got released from all the prisons. And the Hamburglar ends up getting the job driving the van after that. So, and I'm surprised that they really didn't give him a shot at least, or fire him or something. But, that's just how it is. Let's see what else we got here. How much money, if any, should I send my boy? $100 a month is a good amount to send somebody if you can afford that. $20 means a lot. $10, I mean, it means a lot. So, and we say send it, you mean send it one time, send them a month. But $100 a month the person can live on. They do pay you for some of the jobs. They started off at 12 cents an hour. So, like, I started off scraping the trays, doing the dishes. It was 12 cents an hour. And then you move over to the machine where you load the dishwasher with the trays. So now you're touching. First, you take the dirty trays and put them in the dishwasher. That was the loader. Then you get to the other side, the catcher. So now you're getting the clean trays. So that's like 20 cents an hour. You start moving up, and so you can make $30 a month, $40 a month. The best paying jobs there, they have these. They have different levels: level 1, 2, 3, and 4. You get to level 4, even in the kitchen, you could make like 120 a month is the most. That's usually guys who've been there for about 4 years to get to that point. So most guys are going to make $30, $40 a month. And if you send them another 100, so let's say you send him $100 a month, he's got $140 a month to spend. You got to buy your shampoos, you got to buy your soap, you got to buy all that, stuff like that. Emails cost 10 cents a minute to send an email. To read an email, it's 10 cents a minute. And they want to write letters home. Of course, snacks, things like that people want to buy. Even clothes, you got to buy your laundry soap. You got to wash it. You can let them do your laundry once a week, but they throw everybody's thing in a big machine. A lot of people want to use the laundry machine to wash their own clothes. It gets real hot in the summertime in a lot of these camps. They have ice machines. Maybe he wants to buy a 12-pack of soda. And I mean, there's I mean, $100 goes quick. I know guys that spend the whole maximum amount of $360 a month, and they're still complaining. They're still complaining. So there was guys. So they spend $360 a month, and they want to spend more money, right? So they'll find a guy with no money on his account, and they'll say, "Hey, if I have my wife put $200 on your books, I'll give you 20 out of that, and then you order $180 worth of stuff for me." And they make little deals like that, And there's some guys, they somehow they find a way to spend $1,000 a month. I don't know how, but they do. So, but 100 a month, that'd be a happy camper. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, let me find another question here. Yeah, let's see here. Somebody's asking, okay, let's see. I can't believe they feed those guys so good there. Wow, I guess that's all they really got, though. That's funny. I've seen guys do the same thing with cheese and chicken, trying to get it out of the kitchen. Yeah, we're talking about the Hamburglar again. Bodine Jeremiah says the prison sentencing in the U.S. is incredible. That's why they have over 2 million locked up in the UK. Is a good second with the personal laws. The arrogant, unscrupulous, underhanded cops pursue. They're totally useless where real crime is concerned because they're so busy fucking over certain. Uh, I lost it, but I get your point, man. I get your point. Yeah, like I said, you got these guys that go rape, and sodomize a little kid that's 5 years old, and they could do it over and over and over again, and they give them 8 years, and they send them to a low, and they don't even get beat up when they get there because 70% of the people that are sex criminals or whatever all stay at the low, and it's crazy. So yeah, if you're at a low, you're gonna have lots of sex offenders there, and that's the way it is. That's just they put them all there. So a camp is the best. Camp is where you want to go. Let me see here. Really appreciate your advice, MCSE 907G. Thank you. Darren says, consider changing your channel name to Happy Campers. Lots of laugh. Yeah, I thought about changing the name of this thing. So you know why I call it Club Fed, guys? Because okay, it's not country club, it's Club Fed. Now in the 70s they used to call like Club Med, Club Fed. In the 70s, I mean, there was a couple I think that had golf courses and they were more luxurious. I don't know that apparently it's changed. It's not Club Fed anymore. It's Club Dread. But if you've been to a county jail, if you've been to a penitentiary, if you've been it's club. The camp is definitely a club fed if you compare it to all other prisons in the country. I mean, we had bocce ball, we had tennis, we had horseshoe pits, we had softball games. Oh, there's nothing like a softball game in prison. It's like a baseball game. I'm telling you. Okay, they put all the lines on the they got real bases. They got the chalk going all the way over, on all the lines. It's a real baseball field. They got a scoreboard. You got all the umpires. You got a first base coach. You got the stands are full. All the bandstands. It's full of full of fans. We're all yelling. We're screaming, and they got real baseball uniforms going on. And I can't. I mean, it's like a real ball game. You got guys going around selling sodas and chips. You swear that you would be at a real ball game. And it was. I had more, and I enjoyed those baseball games more better than going to the Giants or the A Stadium here in the Bay Area. Those are the best ball games I ever saw in my life. And it was just you escape. You're not even in prison anymore at these ball games. I mean, there's just nothing like being at a prison ball game, watching the ball game. I just really, and you just have to experience. Now, I wouldn't want to go do that on purpose, but they play baseball half the year, and it's a lot of fun watching. It's a lot of fun playing. So that kind of makes it club fed. I think there's one that has a swimming pool. I heard there's one left that has a golf course that they made. It's a one-hole course. But we had pool tables, we had a gym, we had music rooms, we did outdoor concerts. I haven't done a video yet about the talent shows. I used to do these talent shows, these open mics, and I was kind of the MC. I also play guitar, I sing, and I got some of my songs and some of the video and stuff. But I got the whole camp together on Labor Day, and I must have had 15 different bands and acts come up and sing and play songs, and it was a lot of fun, and so that was kind of my thing. I did a couple outdoor shows, and I had a rock band. There was 4 of us. There was one guy was a doctor, one guy was a chiropractor, and the other guy was a drug dealer, and there was me, and we had a rock band. We had our music room, and we had they had acoustic electric guitars, we had drums, we had keyboards, we had microphones, and we had the music room a couple nights a week. It was our turn, and then we did outside shows, and so that's why I call it club fed. It's all those memories like that. You know what I mean? Let me see if I got any more questions. Consider changing your name. No. Let me see. I'll answer a couple more questions, and it's been an hour, so but I'll do this again. Big C says, man, it's crazy they put non-violent guys in with animals, then they become animals. Yeah, if they put the non-violent guy in a medium, they put the non-violent guy in a camp, hopefully he doesn't become an animal, but he could. Prison is what you make it. If you got to turn your life around while you're in there. They've got a lot of classes you can take at night. There's night classes every night of the week. There's 2 or 3 to pick from. They got programs. They you know what I mean? There is enough there as far as programs and classes to keep yourself busy, and turn your life around. And like we had a full gym and all kinds of weights and exercise machines and the ecliptic what do you call it, eclipse things and the treadmills and free weights and fields to run around and lots of sports. And then you got lots of education classes at night and other program education courses. And I took probably every course that I could probably take. I'll do a video. I'll show you. I got a stack of certificates. And if you work on yourself while you're there, you can actually come out a better person. You could find yourself. I think I truly found myself. I did my soul searching while I was in there. You know what I mean? I used to look up at the sky and talk to God there. And it wasn't a religious thing. I just, I didn't come out a Bible stuff or nothing, but I found God, because there's a reason. I believe there's a reason I'm not dead yet. All the drugs I did in the past and everything else, I should have been dead a long time ago. I think God's got me alive for a reason. I don't know what his plan is, and he won't tell me because I'll fuck it up if he told me. But there's a reason I'm still alive, and I don't know. I do these videos. Could this be just maybe a start of why I'm still here on the planet? Maybe I'm still trying to help that one guy find his soul. Guys, I'm going to call it a wrap for now because it's been about an hour. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll do this next Thursday at 1 o'clock. I got a little calendar here, and I got a schedule going with all my YouTubes. I got a whole month of March. I got topics to do. I'll have a video every day, and I'll do Thursday. I got Thursdays at 1 o'clock for the live. I can change it later or add time. So for this next month, I'll do Thursdays at 1 o'clock. And you guys know how to get a hold of me. Call me. We'll talk and find out if one person's going to a camp. There's a dare. Anyways, guys, thanks a lot. I'm going to end this thing. Love y'all. Thanks.